Hi guys, I'm going to do a quick little video on the Pescador pilot and some issues that have come up with the pilot. Um, there is replacement parts from the factory that they will send you that addresses some of these issues, but I wanted to go over a couple of them with you and tell you about something else that I found uh, during this replacement of the parts. Two of the issues that people are having, one is this rod right here that in the stowed position it holds your pedal system up, but in the drive position it runs right along back here and holds your system in place. And while you're pedaling, this has a tendency to work itself out. So what they've done is they have designed it with a hole in it to where you can put this keeper in and it keeps it from sliding out. So they fixed that. Pretty simple little deal. They tell you on the installation instructions when you're replacing this is a new part that you get, and it has this along with your key. What they say is when you're putting your new piece in is not to get it too tight, to where when you go to put it back in, it's real hard. So I went ahead and made mine pretty tight because I wanted to take up some of the slack that is in this pedal drive system. What they say is don't make this bar real tight when you put it in. It should just pop right in. Well, when I adjusted it like that and it just popped right in, it left a lot of slack right here. And you could take your pedals and wiggle them back and forth and there was a lot of slop. So mine is actually pretty tight. You have to bump it a little bit to get it in, but it's fine. Not a big deal at all. It works fine. I wanted mine tight. You hear a lot of complaints online, people talking about how noisy these are when you're pedaling. Well, the noise comes from the movement of your shaft against this rod, back and forth. So it does make some squeaking, loud noises. So I've got mine pretty tight. Once I did that, I realized it still had some slop in it, no matter how tight that is. And as you can see, mine's pretty tight. So I got to looking around, and I noticed back here in the back, where you have your retaining pin that goes through your pedal drive right here and comes out here, there were two things. One is this pin is a little small for in here. It leaves slop. So as you would pedal, even with the front part being very tight, this back here would still move. This is exaggeration, but it moved. Made a lot of noise. Well, I also got to looking and noticed that where the pedal drive goes down between these two bracket flanges, there was a gap about so big. So even if this pin was bigger to take up the slack inside the hole, you still had play between here and here. So I don't have a bigger pin. I think I would have to have one made because I don't know how much bigger you'd have to go. They'd have to take this assembly, measure the hole, and then make a new pin, thread it on the end, that would fit in there tighter, and that would help tremendously. But that wouldn't help this issue with the gap. So what I did, since I don't have another pin that's a hair bigger, I got a washer. It's a pretty good size washer. The reason is, A, it was what I had, and the other washers I had were too small. I had to drill this one out to get the hole size correct. The pin just barely goes through there. It's fairly tight. But this way, with this larger washer, I can actually get a hold of it. So when I'm putting my assembly in the boat, I lay this right down in there, push my assembly down, and then I use a punch over on this end to line the hole up so the pin will slide all the way through, and I can lock it down with this right here. That made a huge difference. Of course, this is on a stand, so it's not real stable, but it does not hardly move. It does not have any side-to-side movement. None. Zero. I don't know if you can really tell, but it doesn't move other than me wiggling it on the stand. So that seems to have possibly solved part of the problem of the pedal drive system moving back and forth, making the squeaking, annoying sounds. And I don't really know if the sounds are back here. I really think they're up here, because this is rubbing right up against that and it's twisting back and forth. So I think this is going to be a solution to that. Tight pin here. Takes a little effort to put it in, and I could back it off a little bit, but I'm going to leave it the way it is for right now. And then tighten this up here. Whatever you have that will take up this extra slack, you can tell how thick that is. That's a lot of slack. That's a lot of slop. If you have slop here and you have slop here, what's it going to do? It's going to twist on you back and forth. You take out the slop here, you take out the slop here, there's no room for movement, and hopefully this will solve some of the issues. I won't get it on the water until next week, so I'm really thinking this is going to solve that little issue. So anyway, thanks for watching, and maybe it'll help. Thanks.